Right. Think I'm live everywhere. Welcome, everyone to the live stream. Let me see if it's connecting. It looks like I'm live. Awesome. Okay, so let me just check all the platforms really quick. I think I'm live everywhere. So, welcome. Happy Friday afternoon to everyone here in the live stream. So, welcome to the people following on Instagram. I figured out how to go Instagram live at the same time I do a Facebook live, which is really exciting. And also, welcome to the people on YouTube. So, I'm excited to see everybody here this beautiful Friday afternoon. I hope you all are having an amazing week. I'm super stoked about the week we have coming up next week for the Parent Interrupted, a beautiful immersion program where I'm going to be guiding everybody through really deep, sacred awakening all week next week. So, welcome, beautiful chosen parents, beautiful souls and parents. If you are here because you're alienated, which is why I know you're here, you have experienced what it's like to be erased, and you know what it's like to be made to feel like the enemy in your own child's life. And so today, I just want to ground us in by taking a few deep breaths and just really anchoring in to your physical body today. So we're going to drop in. I just want you to settle in your chair with your butt in your seat and hands up. So you don't have to hold your hands up like this, but palms up and in your lap so that you can receive the messaging today and this activation. So behind in the seat, feet flat on the floor, and let's just take a few deep cleansing breaths. So in through your nose, all the way into your pelvic floor. And then as you release out through your mouth, just let yourself land here today. And being present in this moment with me as we dive for the light together and really in a deeper understanding of why your child hasn't returned back to your beautiful, loving arms yet. So just take another deep breath in, a deep inhale into your pelvic floor, all the way into your belly. Deep. Just grounding yourself here and being present here to receive today. Hands up, spine straight, feet on the floor, and out through your mouth. Just release and just let yourself land. This is going to be a fun afternoon chat with you, and I'm not here to give you legal advice, and I'm not here to be a therapist. I'm neither a lawyer nor a therapist. I am a formerly alienated child, somebody who has been speaking about this family dynamic for the better part of 20 years, and really want to land here with you today and give you some deeper understanding of why your child is not back yet. And what I'm going to share with you today is for your heart. This is even deeper than the heart, it's all the way into your soul. And it might just be the moment where everything begins to shift for you. And I know a lot of people have heard me talk about the chosen parent and what it means to be the chosen parent. And today, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the chosen parent, but I really want to talk about the pain that you're experiencing when your child cuts you off, and more importantly, why they haven't folded back in. So I know they're saying they hate you, or they pretend like that you don't even exist. Maybe they look right through you when they see you. And maybe you're the one being blamed and erased and rejected for everything. And you're trying to prove your love, and you're not alone. That is common. We see this all of the time with the parents and families we work with. But I want you to hear this if you haven't heard it before, or if you heard it before but it hasn't quite landed for you, or you just need the reinforcement. You were never rejected, you were chosen. And I know that can be really hard to take in, and we get pushback sometimes because it's hard to understand what that really means. But I want you to stay with me today, because I want you to understand what it really means from the child's perspective. And I know there are a lot of adult children rising and talking, and I see all of your comments on their videos, and I'm going to talk about that today as well. And I just want you to know that I was once an erased child too. And I was alienated for the better part of my life from the age of 5. And I fully cut my dad off at 12 until I fully, really reunited with him in my mid 30s. And I believe the lies just like your kids. And I pushed a loving parent away as well. And deep down, even when I swore that they didn't matter to me, I did feel them. I did feel my dad. And I felt his pain, and I felt his presence, and I felt his grief. And even across time and space and the silence, something in me still knew. And that moment that the parent stops trying to win you back, right? Win the child back. And the moment that my dad stopped trying to win me back and he started working on himself, that was the signal that turned on. And I could really fully, wholly feel him again. Not because he was chasing me, but because he had returned to himself and there was a shift within him. I tried to reunite with my dad when I was 18, but because we were both dysfunctional and damaged from the family dynamic, we didn't understand what alienation was or this child psychological abuse. We didn't know how to heal it. So both of us were stuck. And it's it's this struggle that we had, and we bounced along through my 20s of periods of no talking to him. He missed the graduations. I made false allegations against him. All of the things that a lot of you experience with your children, I was that child too. And I know the struggle that they are experiencing. And I also know the struggle that you're experiencing because I also went through a divorce. And it wasn't until a few years after my divorce I discovered what really happened to me as a child. And maybe lately, you guys have been watching a lot of the adult children videos online, the ones where the adult children are speaking up finally, where they're exposing what really happened and they're calling out the lies and they're naming the abuse and they're naming the betrayal and they're telling the truth and they're telling the world about the parent that they were told to hate. And when they call out the parent who manipulated them and who lied and made them choose, and I'm seeing your comments on these videos, so I can see how they're resonating. And this is this fracture they now have with this other parent, the alienating parent. A lot of them have distance and the refusal to pretend anymore. And so now they've cut that parent out of their life. And that part of you that's nodding along quietly, that feels that little fire of yes rising up, or that's commenting loudly, and maybe for the first time in a long time, you feel seen, you feel believed, you think finally someone's telling the truth, and they get it, right? And to have your child look back one day and say, you were right, I see it now, and I know what happened, obviously is something that every parent desires to have. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. That's the human part of you craving the truth. And it touches the grief that was never acknowledged and the truth that's never been released and never, it's been locked in your chest, in your heart for years. And it's the part of you that still aches to be heard. And I just want to gently ask you something. What part of those adult children's stories that you're hearing, that you're commenting on, really resonates with you the most? And if you feel comfortable putting it in the chat, I'd like to hear that. I'll keep going and I will see if anybody comments. I'll help you dig a little bit deeper. Is it when they finally call out the parent who broke them? Is it when they say, I see now, I was made to choose? Is it the moment that the child walks away from the person who once controlled the narrative? Is it that what they're sharing is what you want to hear your child say? And if you're feeling the fire of a yes inside of you, you're not wrong. And I want to name what that is, what that part of you is that still longs for vindication. And your conscious mind says, that's not what I want. But your unconscious mind is whispering, I want them to see. I want them to say it right. I want them to know. I want them to know the truth. And you are completely human for wanting all of that. And I also want you to know that that need to be vindicated, conscious or unconscious, if left unhealed, holds both of you hostage. The healing, real healing, begins when you let go of the needing them to say it first and to start choosing to live in the truth for yourself. It's all right to feel that way. It's common and it's human. And the content touches something raw and real inside of you, of course. It taps into the grief that was never acknowledged, that love that was erased or feels erased, and the years that no one has given back to you, and they really can't because time continues to move on. And that resonance, it's not just vindication or validation, it's your soul calling you forward. Because that part of you that aches to be seen is also the part that still feels stuck, stuck in the pain, stuck in the story, stuck waiting for the apology, the recognition, the return. And here's the deeper, deeper truth, beloved chosen parents, is the longer you stay stuck in the identity of the targeted, rejected parent, the longer your child is trapped in the old story where they still have to choose. They've just jumped from the frying pan and into the fire. And maybe they've pulled away from the alienated or alienating parent. But now the unspoken weight of this is you will need me to be the one who sees it all, who heals it all, and who makes it right. That deeper question, will I have to heal you too? And that's not your fault. It's also not their fault. It is, however, your responsibility as the chosen parent, the beloved chosen parent, because you are the chosen one to liberate not just the child, but the whole child, the one who no longer has to choose, the one who no longer carries the burden of fixing or healing either parent, the one who gets to be loved without conditions, without confusion, without a scoreboard or a scorecard. That's what the path is really about. It's about your soul saying yes to doing the deeper work and holding the space for your beloved child so that you're the soft place for them to land. But you don't have to wait anymore for them to come around someday. You can move towards the healing and alchemization, and not because they admitted that they were wrong, but because you are ready to be free. Free from needing someone else to validate your love, free from holding on to a version of yourself shaped by the pain of alienation. That's your new role now as the chosen parent, not to wait, not to beg, but to become the version of you who ends the story altogether. I want to share a story with you that really demonstrates exactly what I mean. Some of you maybe have seen the film A Racing Family, and the lead protagonist in the Racing Family film is Ashlyn, and she was the lead in that film for obvious reasons. And when she and I first began working together during the making of that film, she had reunited with her father, but she had completely rejected her mother. And on We had coached for a while, and it was abundantly clear she was in deep pain and convinced of a new truth that when something big happened, she made her stepmom her legal mother. She was adopted as an adult. And this is portrayed in the film. So if you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. And she asked me one day in a coaching call, Dorsey, what do you think about me being adopted? And because I speak the truth and I hold the space, the lighthouse light, if you will, for the awakening, the arise of the beloved, authentic child, I told her the truth. This is still a fractured system. You're still living inside the trauma triangle. You're being asked unconsciously and maybe consciously, I don't know, but you're still being asked to choose. And that wound is still running the show. Now, of course, she didn't like the answer. So she got angry and she demanded she knew what she was doing because she was an adult after all, and she was. And it was her decision, and she knew what she was doing. And I would guess at a soul level, she probably knew what my answer would be. And I always make it a priority to hold that light and space for the child to rise and heal and not take things personally. And I let her know it was simply my opinion. It was not relevant, it just at that time, but since she asked, I shared. And my greatest purpose in doing this deeper work is to give the authentic child the space to heal and rise. And it's not about me, it's about their healing. And when you hold that container, you can take a lot of arrows from all sides. And for a period of time, she cut contact with me, just like she had with her mom, because the truth is hard to hear when we're still trying to survive. A couple of years later, Ashlyn resurfaced and she sent me a message and she said, Dorsey, you were right. I didn't understand at the time, but I do now. No. And she apologized. And of course, my immediate response was no apology necessary. And she now has a relationship with both of her parents and also her sister, who has a relationship with both of her parents. And the thing that always stays with me is that her father could have done the deeper work, but he didn't. He let his wife adopt her instead. And for a long time, that confirmed for Ashlyn the same belief that she had always carried, that she still had to choose. And that's the part that hits me the hardest, right into my heart. And her dad could have done the work, but he didn't. He didn't heal the root cause. He reached for a replacement, and that unknowingly confirmed that very wound that Ashlyn had carried her whole life. And love meant choosing sides. You can't outsource healing. You can't bypass the shadow. And no one, not even a well meaning step parent, can take your sacred place and fill your sacred shoes. And I want to be clear, I don't blame Ashlyn, and I don't blame Ashlyn's dad or the stepmom either. When things like this happen, people aren't acting from clarity, they're acting from trauma and from grief and from survival. Everyone's just trying to find some version of safety in a system that's been fractured for way, way, way too long. And safety isn't found in sides, it's found in truth. And truth requires healing because when the chosen parent doesn't rise, the child stays stuck in the war and is left to either repeat the cycle or figure it out on their own. And that's the pain I want to help you avoid. That's the pain I see and hear in the rising voices of the adult children. It's not their responsibility. It's not the child's responsibility to solve the problem. And when they become adults, they're left holding this narrative, holding the healing that's required on both sides of the family. And the sacred truth is, again, no step parent can replace mom. There's no new family that can erase the soul bond between a mother and a father. The only way out of the trauma is through the shadow and through the part no one wants to look at, through the part that you, as the chosen parent, have been called to lead, not just to heal yourself, but to end the pattern for good. I just want to sit with that for just a second. And I want you to know that you don't have to walk this path alone. You may have been made out to be a villain. I know a lot of you and your stories, and I know a lot of you have said, I've tried everything, and a lot of you have. A lot of people have been through court, through therapy, pleading and proving, and nothing has worked. But the real shift, it doesn't come from anything out here. It comes from in here. The moment you begin to see yourself differently, your child can start to feel you differently. Alienation doesn't just happen in a courtroom, it happens in the soul of the family members and the soul of the family. Healing begins when you return to the one person who's been missing the most in all of this. You returning to you. And now I know what a lot of people think because you send me messages all of the time. Dorsey, this isn't my fault. The other parent caused this. They should be the one doing the work. And yes, you're right. And you're right to feel that way. And yes, they should be, but they're not. And they were the spark, the distortion, the origin of the rupture. Of course. But here's the sacred truth that I need you to hear, that your child needs you to hear. If the chosen parent, you, waits for the alienating parent to heal first, the child stays trapped. They're stuck. They love that parent too. They stay in the trauma loop that keeps repeating because no one is showing them a different way. And that's what makes you the chosen parent, not because you caused it, but because you are the one strong enough to end it. The alienating parent may be the root cause, but you're the portal out of it. When you wait, when you stay stuck in blame, even if it's justified, the child feels that pull like a riptide, and they remain caught between two broken mirrors, still trying to piece together who they're supposed to be. But when you do the work, everything changes. You become the steady presence that they can feel, the lighthouse in the dark, the signal that finally feels safe to stop choosing, stop fixing, stop performing, and just be loved. That's the legacy that you get to create. That's what this immersion that we're doing next week is all about. And I believe this with every cell of my body. Your child's soul chose you to be their guide out of this pain, not because you're perfect, because we all know you're not, and that is okay, because you're willing to feel it, willing to break the pattern, willing to hold a love that's bigger than the story that was told about you. That is not weakness. That is your sacred strength. That is your superpower. And I know when you do this work, your child feels it, even if they don't consciously or cognizantly know it yet. So I want to ask you something. What if you stopped waiting to be chosen and you just started showing up as the parent you were always meant to be, not the one they say you are, but the one you know you are, beneath the grief, beneath the silence, beneath the fear, beneath the lies? What if that version of you was the very signal your child is waiting for? I know a lot of people will say, well, I've done so much of the healing work already. Why hasn't it changed anything? And you might also be thinking, I've done this work. I've journaled. I've meditated. I've forgiven. I've grieved. I've gone to therapy. I've taken classes. I've been to court. I've done therapy a million times with a million different people. I've tried everything. And my child still isn't coming back. And I hear you. And that is real and exhausting and heartbreaking. And here's what I want you to know: it's not that you haven't done enough healing, it's that the work you've done may have been focused on coping. And what's actually needed now is a sacred identity shift, an energetic repatterning so deep that your child can feel it before they even speak your name again. Most holy, most deep, all the way in your soul. Most healing work focuses on the past. This is different. This is about becoming the version of you that they can finally come home to, a sacred remembrance, a version that isn't reacting to their silence, a version that isn't waiting for proof, a version that lives in truth, love, and embodied presence, no matter what they do. That is the work that we are doing in the immersion, not just healing the pain, transmuting your identity into the one their soul still remembers. This is not just more healing. This is your sacred return to the chosen parent that you are, the beloved, unconditionally loving, whole, sacred, soft place to land for your beloved children. So, this coming week, I will be guiding a sacred experience called Parent Interrupted. Again, it's not another parenting class. It's not another fight into the system. It's not a communication class. We've done all of those things. It's a 5-day soul level journey for parents who are ready to stop surviving and start returning to your identity, returning to your power, returning to the love that your child can feel even now, tucked just below the surface for safekeeping. So we begin on Monday, April 14th. It's only $97 to join. And this will change the way that you feel about everything that has happened. So if you're ready to stop trying to fix what's outside and start integrating and alchemizing what's inside, then join the link that my team will put in the chat. Click the link and join us. It's $97. We start Monday at 3 o'clock Pacific time. We will be doing the lives every day in a Zoom meeting. So you will come together with this beautiful container. It is an immersion. So it's not a class per se. I will be guiding you through a deep immersive process of healing, alchemization, and activation of your role as the chosen parent. So if you're ready, click the link in the comments and join us. You're not broken. You're not forgotten. You're not the rejected parent. You are the one that they feel, even if they can't admit it yet. So your child has something to come home to, the sacred return of you, the beloved chosen parent. So I'm excited to work with you and walk alongside you next week as we do a deeper dive for the light together in this beautiful container of Parent Interrupted. So thank you so much for tuning in. I can feel your beautiful hearts. I can feel you grounding in. Pop in the comments and let us know what part of this resonated with you, what really hit home for you today. So thanks for joining. Have a beautiful weekend. For those of you that have already said yes, super excited to be diving for the light with you next week. So remember, peace in so you can have peace out. I love you all so deeply, and we'll see you soon. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye for now.